Hello and welcome to episode 21 of our Timberborn 1.0 full release playthrough with the Folktales faction on the Down the Plug Hole map, Cycle 31, Day 1, as of this exact moment. And last time, we finally, minus these couple of pieces of terrain, and then technically also these, have sealed up our bad water sewer, which I personally think is very exciting. So, I'm going to get these last couple things popped in place here. The beavers will, of course, do what they need to do to make this happen. And once these are all done, we're going to open these gates here and let it flow as it needs to. I am kind of concerned that this is going to overtop before that happens. Let's just... Oh, that's done? Okay. Okay, so I'm not worried about that. That's all sealed up. I guess the time is now, because I don't want to have nasty water in the clean water area. Let's unlimited flow that one. Oh, I'm not going to turn that on yet. I need to make sure the beavers can't get down here first. Let's disconnect that. Shouldn't need that again. This also shouldn't be necessary, so we will disconnect. I don't believe there's any other way for them to get down there, and there's also nothing in here worth getting. I think we're okay. I do want to see what happens to this in real time now that this is unlimited. Yeah, it's going to flow through here as long as it didn't come over the top, which it did not. Very, very interested to see what happens here. I think it is going to be okay, but I also don't want this. Thank you, lag. I don't want this to overflow. And so far, it seems like it's okay. I have no reason to believe that this is going to be a problem. Yeah, okay. You know what? We don't need to delay the inevitable anymore. Unlimited flow for theoretically unlimited power coming through here. This is also set to unlimited, so at this point we're just kind of, you know, playing with garbage here. Let's see. Let's see how well this goes. Also, there's clean water here that's going to, you know, slowly fill this up. Did I finish? I did. Okay. And this is what we want this to be. Nice and clean. So we can take care of whatever we need to take care of. I guess this is okay. I don't see any real backing up happening. This is full as it's supposed to be. I know we still have some coming out this side. We'll fix that. But I just want to make sure that this is actually functioning. That seems to be fine. This we already know is good. Maybe there might be some flow issues here, this only being 2 blocks wide, but I don't see any coming out the top. That was the most important thing, is that it does not come out the top. So, since I know we have access to this tile from above, I can pop that in. They'll decide to do that if they want to. And, friends, I think we can say this is a rousing success. At least the separation. Now, because I know this video is not going to get posted for quite a while after I record it, but I know there's at least a couple of people from the previous episode who commented asking why I put impermeable floors on top of a what do you call it, overhang right here, when we already know, because of this, that the dirt is allowed to go on top of the water wheels. Well, not gonna lie, part of that is because I'm dumb and I thought I needed to, you know, prevent the pollution by doing this instead of just having all of the dirt on top. But then I realized about halfway through building this that wasn't gonna matter because this was gonna be dirt anyway. So, oh, you know what we didn't do? It's not gonna be a problem, but we did not seal all of that up, so that's fine. But yeah, that's you got me there. We're going to get this full of clean water once we get this all hooked up. Probably not today, but it's a proof of concept that this does work, and then we're going to have all the clean water extra either spill over here or possibly over this side as we've previously discussed. So, other things that we need to do today, besides, you know, all of this fun, include trying to start the process of moving some farming stuff. Maybe not necessarily moving it, putting in additional farming stuff probably would be a smart idea. And then, of course, we have this area that is still begging for more development, maybe another housing complex. We'll see what we can get ourselves into. But I like the idea, even if this is not going to be, you know, the only place we do stuff. We've got a nice little plain right here that would be a pretty quaint place for a farm. And we don't have a lot of sunflowers. We don't have a lot of carrots. This is kind of remote. Neither of those need processing, by the way. So if we put carrots and we put sunflowers over here, we can harvest them. And then eventually, when we get the raft thing going in a little bit, a couple of episodes, we can send those right down the river to storage. Or they can go right here. The choice is, well, I guess it's not yours because I'm the one playing the game. But we'll see what we can get ourselves into. I think a single efficient farmhouse is probably about what we're looking for here. Yeah, you know what? I don't feel bad about putting this maybe right about here. But maybe I should do this. You know what? That actually might look pretty nice nestled into the side of the hill there. We'll do our little spiral staircase. Get that popped in. And then, because we can alternate either rows or some sort of concentric circles. I don't trust myself with circle math, so I'm going to go ahead and say we'll do rows. We know we have the ability to do something halfway decent with that. I kind of like these random birch trees just chilling over here. So what I'm going to do is, I suppose, just start alternating. We got sunflowers, we got carrots. And just put a strip in, and then put another strip in, so on and so forth. Let it be what it's going to be. I don't think they can reach this to, get rid of it, so I'm going to leave it alone. Sunflower here, sunflower here, sunflower here, sunflower here. And then carrots. We don't need this staircase, so that can go away, but I figure this would be a decently whimsical thing to do, to occupy a space that's going to, most of the time, be pretty irrigated. And it's not super far away from the zipline station. I think that is a decent way to occupy a little bit of space. And we don't have a lot of this stuff anyway, so you know what's the harm in adding some more? We'll start identifying some other places we can do stuff like that. But, oh, look at all this. Look at all this. We are looking quite good. Now, this is going to flood. This whole thing is going to flood here. We're going to have zipline stations and all that completely underwater. Which isn't necessarily what I want to be doing, so I am going to pause this drill. We've proven that this works, and it is not a problem. So, let's leave that alone. I need to kind of address this this dumb thing that I decided might be kind of fun. So I originally wanted to put in 8 bad water pumps. For reference, we currently have 3. So, you know, I did some thinking between last episode and this one, and I think it's probably going to make the most sense. First of all, before we get too comfortable here, I do want to blast this out to be just a tiny bit deeper, as deep as I can go. It looks like I've got one down I can go. And then on top of that, I'm going to build all of my pumps, and then I'm going to have, instead of 8, I'm going to have 6. So what's going to have to happen here is, if this is going to be the top level of the what do you call it? That actually means I need the bottom, the what do you call it, being the zipline station. I need the bottom to be 4 blocks below this level, because the wheel has to be basically at the same height as this platform to use clearance on the top and the bottom. So that means I need this level, otherwise known as the top of this path. I need this level, and then I need this level. So it's basically got to be at the very bottom of the map. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. So, is it stupid to dedicate this much energy into this when it's objectively not really going to be that great of a payoff? Probably. But also, you know, I said it a bunch last episode. There's no rule that says the dog can't play basketball. So just because something's objectively kind of stupid doesn't mean we can't or should not do it. Just chew on that one. I am going to, for the benefit of everyone's collective sanity and also our collection of, what do you call it being planks. Remove all of that. We need to enlarge this area. Maybe not necessarily this top one, but I'm going to do it anyway because we currently have access to it. I need that, and then that, I think is going to get me what I want. And that actually, if this is on this bottom level here, that actually wouldn't be that bad. I could figure out a way to get a path put up in there. Anyway, I'm going to have to reroute everything. I was kind of hoping this would go just a tiny bit. Wait a second. Oh, it got rid of the path. Oh, I hate it when that happens. Okay. So this is looking good. We also at some point have to talk about the automation on these, what do you call them? I know, I have to use the actual name of the thing. Is it not going to let me click on these? There we go. Throttling valves. I want these to, at different stages of different seasons, have different throttling rates. Because the idea is that we retain some during droughts and slowly release it. So it really only needs to be in the 3 days leading up to a drought. The flow needs to be restricted. All other times you can just be constantly going. That's going to require, and we're not going to do that today, don't worry. I'm going to actually wait for people to leave comments and I can actually read them before I record that part. But we're probably going to have to do something with weather stations and memory and logic gates because the intermediary seasons can kind of complicate things when it comes to programming because the weather station is allowed to activate whatever interval before a season starts. But you don't want it to also be active while the season is going. So I would have to figure out some sort of, probably an AND relay to be dependent on 2 weather stations. And one of those is going to have to be set to droughts with some sort of, I don't know, 72-hour early thing. And then the other one's going to have to be, I don't know. If you know exactly how that has to be set up, please do let me know in the comments. Again, I'm not going to try it until I can actually read comments on this episode, so it might be a while. But I am going to tentatively say I'm committed to doing that, because that sounds like an interesting way to kind of explore how this is set up. So it looks like we've got all of this ready to go. I just don't want to blow up any beavers. That is blasted there. Alright, so here's what okay, I just have to make sure these guys stop picking up all of this garbage. Well, I mean, I did tell them to do it, so I can't get mad that they're doing it. That's, that's not how that works. 130? Why are they all there? Okay, well, that's fine. I want to get rid of these stairs so I can... But they keep coming in here. Those blasted beavers doing exactly what I told them to do. Okay, nobody's down here, right? Problem solved! So that means Actually, I wanted to blow that one up. Maybe okay, anyway, K for kaboom. Let's just get this over with. That should be the bottom of the map. It's not. Okay, that... No. No, I forgot. The fill valve target height updates when you change the terrain. Well, it's fine. It's fine. I'm going to choose not to become upset because that solves no problems. Now, this is kind of the moment of truth. I know I can put this here. Oh, is that perfect? Why am I whispering? It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. That's what I wanted. That's exactly what I wanted. I love it when a plan goes right. So now to connect to that, I can do a zipline beam, which can not go here. Why? Does it need more space, or is it because of the path? Survey says it was because of the path, and that is actually... That's actually too low. Well, I'll be. How about that? Let's just accept this win as it comes and not question it. That. Oh. Oh no! It's too far. That's pretty annoying. Okay, well, I guess I have to put another one in here. Oh darn, more neat stuff to build. Okay. Well, the good news about this is once this is connected, I could actually have them blast this out and it not be a problem. And that, because of how this is situated here, is going to allow me to do this, which, you know what? I might actually be able to put 8 of these in here. I might be able to do it. Which is, not something I was thinking was going to be possible. The whole reason behind blasting this out is so that I can have as much bad water in here as I can without it flooding and also keep the pumps going. That's finished, which is fabulous. That's working. This, because of how this is angled, will not connect here. It's going to say, well, first of all, too many connections. But it's not going to let me go through the terrain. You can very obviously see that that's a thing. So, what I'm going to have to do instead, because... Wait, this doesn't connect to anything? Oh, no, it super does. Oh, come on. We don't actually need this anymore. So that saves that problem from being a thing. And I think, even if this seems very stupid to you, and you would be right to say this is very stupid, I think we're going to do it anyway. We get that connected there, and then we get that connected there, and then we get can't go there because we have that not done. I actually don't need that one to be blown up. I just need it to hold a zipline beam. Now, okay, what distance was that? I didn't check. Okay, well, you know what? It doesn't really matter. I think it was 17 meters. Probably should be, yeah. So, folks, I believe as soon as this gets done, we're going to have direct zipline connection from where the pumps are, down there, to where the refinement happens. Which might accidentally be a very good thing. So we're going to see if they're going to be able to build this tunnel from the doorway of this thing, or if I made a mistake that I'm going to have to fix here in a moment. But okay, so that is connected, and it is saying that it cannot do it. Alright, well, it's fine. I know the past couple of episodes have been kind of a fever dream of chaos because yours truly decided that it would be a good idea to do weird esoteric projects while, you know, people can't comment on videos for a while. Is what it is. Let's get these guys in here. They should just take care of this real quick. All I have to do is be able to get beavers down here enough to blast that open, and then these guys can do whatever they want. I'm going to have to actually do that and that because I have to have staircases up. So let me know, do you think this is dumb? Because objectively, let's be honest, it is pretty dumb, but it's also pretty cool. A lot of dumb things are cool in some way or another. Obviously, there's limitations to that based on, you know, actual bad things, so don't take me out of context, because I know some of you like to do that. But I personally think this was a worthwhile endeavor. Come on. You hear me clicking? Why? Okay, there we go. This should be okay. I just need to put in a staircase. That'll get me connected to there. And that should allow me to do basically everything here. We'll blow up the outside ring, and then we'll be able to put in, what do you call it? Platforms. The other question I'm sure at least one or two of you have commented or are currently thinking, but have not actually commented, is where are you putting storage for all of this? Now we could pretty... I mean, I shouldn't say pretty easily, because it's honestly kind of a pain to blast out a 3-tall cavern. But we could put one in here. I think probably it's fine to just leave it without one, because the zipline is relatively close, and haulers can take care of things. But we will see what happens. We just have to kind of, well, wait and see. So I'm going to time-lapse. Yes, I know. I know. It's going to be okay. I'm going to time-lapse this. Just, excuse me, putting in a whole bunch of the pumps here and seeing what works, what doesn't work. And when that's done or something interesting happens, we'll get back and see what these guys have gotten taken care of. All right, so we have 8. I didn't think I was going to be able to fit 8. Apparently, I'm very bad at math, but we already knew this. We've got a zipline station that's actually connecting, and they're taking the zipline. And they can get to all of the doors except this one. So we do need to put another tunnel here so they can get to that. Outside of that, friends, we're looking good, and we even had space for a couple of small tanks for bad water. How about that? I'm feeling pretty good about this. I would consider this to be a success, even if it is a little bit dumb. We have a drought coming up in 1.3 days. This network is currently making 8,400 HP. How about that? I do want to connect these, but I feel like that is a little bit of a future thing. That was making 8,400. It's making almost 11,000. Not too shabby, if I say so myself. So, again, not today, but next steps for this area before we move on. Need to put a couple more. We got 1, 2. I thought I saw a third. Yeah, third one. And then, are there any over here? Oh, hey, there's a big satellite dish relic here. But yeah, so we got three more aquifers to put up here. The pumps at least, and then get this area nice and full. These will work underwater, for the record. And yeah, we just need to maybe put a little bit more in here so it can come up a little bit higher. Spill over this side. Yeah, I'm feeling good about that. They are basically done cutting trees, unless I have more stuff marked, which I have no reason not to. I love it when I get a call while I'm recording something and then it just immediately stops. Who was calling me at 10:40 p.m. with a spoofed local area code? Is this people trying to sell me a personal loan again? I don't know. We're going to find out. Well, you won't find out, but I will. I'm going to get these guys to work here, get a little bit closer. How close can I get? Yeah, let's just put a couple more of these here. We don't need a lot. We'll put 4 of those in. That'll get us just a tiny bit. Get rid of these jobs. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. That'll help our job vacancies. So we're getting closer to increasing this stuff here. I know I put this in. Might have actually been the last episode, and then I kind of forgot about it. But we get this hooked up here. Then this actually lines up kind of nice. I might as well, since we're up here, put in the stairs like they were a couple other spots. Not really worried about it. I suppose this could be a couple of terrain blocks normally right there, just to make this nice and symmetrical. So yeah, I kind of like this. I also kind of don't like it. We've talked about this a couple times, so I don't need to keep going on and on and on about it. Never miss a chance to do shaving a haircut. Grab these out of here. I can put in another couple of levees, those little things on the ground we're not going to cry over because we have a ton of logs and a ton of planks. But putting this in, once I get rid of these lodges, which I will need to do by building additional housing, means we can have more storage behind here, which should be good. 6-day drought. Looking okay. Remember that we put this stuff in. It seems like this is helping slowly. You know, we're getting there. But we also have room for some more spatterdock and some more cattails, although it's mostly spatterdock we're missing. So why don't we come in here? That's as far as that reaches, huh? Okay, so I can't really do much with that unless I moved an aquatic farmhouse or put another aquatic farmhouse in over here. I feel like it would be a good idea to build more of that, but maybe we'll have a separate area because we've got a lot of space, right? And we can do a whole lot of stuff that we haven't even bothered trying yet. Especially if we're going to be having stuff sent down the river with the rafts. So, we've got all the space up here. I wouldn't say this is enough to really bother planting a bunch of spatterdock or something in. But we can identify somewhere else that might be good for that. It doesn't even have to be over here either. Remember, we have a whole map to play with. We don't really do that much. So, I know we have aquifers over here that we haven't put in. We've got this that's going to be pretty green, but I need a place that's going to be pretty flat. Oh, you know what I need to do before I forget is I need to put that path in on this thing here. There we go. I need to find a spot that's pretty flat that will stay the same height. This is already 2 blocks deep. That's not really a thing. Or should I just make one? But I want it to look kind of natural, so that's probably not a fantastic idea. And I want it to be able to ship with the rafts, which means, honestly, it kind of has to be over here. Now, let's not forget, we do have this. This is reasonably kind of large. But I haven't done anything with this in terms of getting the stuff set up. Now, it would not be difficult at all. And we do have 4 days, so why don't we go ahead and, first off, completely surround this with regular terrain. And then right here, put in a floodgate. Where's my Gary? How do I have this? Which one of these? Okay, so on, Gary the Gatekeeper on, raises. So I need to automate this to Gary the Gatekeeper. I do love the Gary meme. But that'll just make this super easy. Because it should, in theory, not really require much, but I will probably put in a fluid dump on top of it. Just because that's the way we've always done it. Let's put in a staircase, actually. This might be faster. Yeah, because this has a zipline station here. This might be faster to just go this way. Which means I need to check my terrain heights. So that is actually 1 block up from this. Let's do this. Let's take this and this out. And come up the side. Yeah, I think this is going to be the easiest way to do it. Just get rid of all of this on the back side. And then I'll just come up over here. But they do have to be able to access it. I know stuff starts taking a really long time when you get this far into a playthrough, and I'd like to avoid these episodes becoming really boring and stale, so if it ever feels like that, you are not going to hurt my feelings if you say, hey, this is starting to get a little boring, because, you know, my main goal here is to try and make stuff that people enjoy watching, so as soon as that stops being a thing, I need to know so I can fix it. I'm still having fun, though, so let's come up here, get this taken care of before the wet season starts, and then, knowing that this is just a seep, this is basically going to be impossible to become polluted enough to be a problem, which means this could be a good opportunity for us to get across here, and then I've already got good access on this side. It's only going to be normal 9 days to evaporate. I meant to click on the floodgate, not that. I'm just going to have this set to... okay, it can't be any higher than 0.8. We'll do 0.75. I suppose that'll be easy enough. I do have to have them get across to the other side, so... Or at least I have to be able to get to this. Staircase is going to be easier. Just do that there. It's got access there. Got that coming in there. Fluid dump here or here. I'm going to go for here. Connected. And then I've got to get down here. Now remember, this is one block above everything, so this will actually not shut off at all until this is done. So this can actually be set to 0.95 and be totally fine. But I do want them to be able to come down here, which is, at least in the near term, going to be kind of an irritating thing, so we'll do that as quickly as we can. Just get rid of those. And I think I'm going to want to, based on how this is set up, put an aquatic farmhouse on those 6 tiles there. Which means this is going to be a regular staircase here. I'm going to say that's probably fine. Okay, so this is dumping when it should not be. How do I have this automated over here? I never remember. Where is my Gary 2? Okay. So many Garys, so little time. So that'll take care of that. That probably should have a water tank. Do the rest of these have water tanks? I say as I look at things that are not even... Yes, okay. Alright. I really need to stop going so far out when I'm scrolling around. Let's put in... I guess right here, because that's already a thing that exists. I have my path laid out for me. That is set there. Now, if this is going to be my only connection to an aquatic farmhouse, then I need a path to it, but... we got a zipline station, which means I have the opportunity to come over here, clear a couple more trees, and assuming I can clear these trees, actually have some sort of a thing here. I won't know if it's... oh, hold on, that was... okay, so that would fit there, but it's acting like it wouldn't fit here because of the angle, probably. Okay, well, I can live with that, but I would prefer for it to be a little bit less weird. Let's, just because we're already here, let's get that connected there. I do want this to be as stupid free as possible, but I also need this to, you know, actually be able to plant stuff everywhere. Tell you what. I need to stop telling you what. My name's not Hank Hill. Oh, come on, really? I know it doesn't matter, but... there you go. You know, turn right around and go do something else. If I do that, then I can instead... honestly, all these trees can go. I'm not going to win any awards keeping these trees around. That's not how this works anymore. Just get rid of them. We can just go straight line path all the way up to here. And then, I suppose I can put my, what do you call it? Well, if I do a straight line here, that might actually be better. Let's do that. That should be fine, right? Anyway, you know how this goes. We're kind of just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks, because that's, it's the only way we've ever known. Let these guys do what they gotta do. I guess if I'm gonna have this straight across here, then I don't need to have this staircase here, but I do... look at these guys go. I do want to at least have the ability to check and see if I'm gonna get full coverage. Okay, so this is basically the perfect spot. I know it's not gonna reach all the way into the corner, but that's fine. Aquatic farmhouse, here it is. That will go quite nicely here with, I guess... that staircase right there will get me about 90% of the way to where I want to go. And once that's connected with the zipline to this bad boy, then we don't need to have the pathway here. This will be connected to here, and then that's connected to there. So that's close enough to what we'd consider a decent connection there. I know there's nothing for you to do. It won't always be like that. I promise you, we'll have all sorts of fun stuff for you to plant later. Let's give these guys a little bit of a in over there. I do want to get this taken care of as soon as I can, so I can actually get this started to plant. I think later on in this playthrough, when we get around to doing bots, assuming we want to do bots, I'm going to want to have the recipe that turns Spatterdock into biofuel. Because we're going to have so much stinking Spatterdock, it's not going to matter. Technically, potatoes might be a little bit better, but look, it's fine. We don't need to get caught up in the minutia of what's technically the best recipe in the meta or any of that. I think we can just kind of enjoy the process of doing what we're doing. All right, now hurry up and get these oak trees out of here. Let's go, because I want to put this zipline in. We're gonna have to end this episode pretty soon. Now that fits there. That goes. Come on. That goes there. That goes there. Wow, 29 meters. Okay, that I can get behind. Now let's get this built. Make sure that is a priority. Since they are still taking trees out, I will extend the paths. But pretty soon we're going to have to start planting. If we make this entirely Spatterdock, then I think that's going to be fine. And then we can, of course, put that on a river raft at some point once we get that done. Don't know if it's going to be next episode. Don't know if it's going to be the episode after that. Depends on how many more of these I decide I need to make before we are going to be back doing our normal stuff. All right, this is 0.95, probably just a tiny bit too high because of this flooding here. But that's the wrong button. Now I've got the paths that are going to go away. I've got that staircase. And it is time, friends, to plant Spatterdock absolutely everywhere except this one square is not going to get planted. But I've got a solution for that called put some dirt there. I trust you will enjoy that solution. And there you go. That's more space greened up. That's more space used for planting. We've got technically a little bit more zipline stuff taken care of. I know this is not really an ideal zipline layout. Thank you, lag. But it's something. And guess what we can do up here once all these trees are gone? That's right, we can grow other stuff. And that is going to come in handy with some of these other things that maybe we want to have a little bit of a better grasp on. So, Spatterdock goes in the grill. Guess what else goes in the grill? That's right, it's potatoes. So, if we made this a potato farm, or at least part of this area a potato farm, I think that would be a good way to utilize a little bit more of this space. Let's remove even more trees on this entire thing here. Just rip them out of the earth. And that should be, once they're done with most of this, about all we have to do for this episode. I think they can reach just about all of this as things stand now. I do want to get potatoes growing here. We might need to have multiple farmhouses. This isn't really a great spot. I could put one here and be okay. And we probably should have storage, in all honesty. But I want this whole thing to be potatoes. Even if we don't harvest all the potatoes, I want the whole thing to be potatoes because, well, it's potatoes. Who doesn't want more potatoes? So if I put this here, it's about the same reach, all things considered. Yeah, see, I'd have to have this be... Yeah, actually, you know, right here is not a terrible spot. And that is the minimum I could get away with putting that right there. All right. So, you know what? I won't try to rotate it. Because, let's be honest, we don't need that many potatoes. I'm just looking for something to fill up space. So, for that to be a space filler, I think will be okay. That's going to be connected there. I'm aware this is kind of dumb. So, why don't we fill in some of this space? Scarecrows, you know, kind of don't really do anything. But it's a farm. So, Scarecrow. We can put a bench. And then, why not? We can put a little bulletin pole here. inform the beavers, and also all the beavers that work in both these buildings will constantly have access to that benefit, and then some of them will have access to the scarecrow. Which, tell you what, because of the way that these... Why did I pause the game? I can actually put the bulletin pole there. I can put the scarecrow here. And actually face it that way, assuming that's the right way it is. Oh, there's a little face. Look at that. Hello, lag. Where's the... Look at the little face. I don't remember that having the beaver face. I also could just be completely insane. But we established that. All right. So that... it's something. Oh, they can't actually reach this. Okay, that will... that'll help solve that problem. But let's not wheat. I know we probably do need wheat, but... or should I plant wheat here? It would be... Oh, we got tons of wheat. Never mind. It would be more wheat than we'd ever need. It would be more potatoes than we'd ever need. Or do we split it? Oh, I took away their... what do you call it? Path. There you go. Great things happening in the cognition department here. I'm going to get that out of here. In fact... I'm going to get it so out of here. I'm going to blow this up. And we'll just keep this thing up here. I just want to cut this little bit off so that I have that much more reach with the farmhouse around here. Then I guess we could do wheat. We could do wheat and potatoes. Why don't we, since I cannot make up my mind to save my life, let's do all of this side as wheat. And this, as soon as they get done with that, can probably also be blasted down to a certain degree. Just trying to avoid killing any beavers, as one does. That is out of range. Okay, let's add that. They're going to be quick to plant this wheat, but they're not going to need to pick it out of the ground anytime soon. So, just doing our part. This shouldn't ever dry out, based on what I know about evaporation. Let's K for kaboom while we still can. That's gonna... Oh, look at that. That's gonna be good, actually. So that can go there. That can go there. This is objectively kind of ugly, but it's fine. Got ways of getting that taken care of. Alright, somebody come over here and get rid of this, because now I actually do need to end this episode time-wise. And then move on to the next. Come on. Very, very, very slowly. I'll get it done. I probably am not going to completely remove all of this, but I am going to cut this little peninsula off a little bit. Alright. So that, for sure, can be gone. I think... See that? I don't want it to be too dumb looking. I'll go for that. I think that's going to be good enough. Just get these guys in here to blow this up. We'll get another potato. Again, we don't need another farmhouse because we're probably not going to be harvesting most of this anyway. I just wanted something to look kind of neat. So I need this to be finished, and it's just about done. K for kaboom. And now look at... Wow, look at all this space we've got. That is pretty cool. So I'm going to plant that all the way up there, and then, of course, like I said, potato, etc. Plant them, get it done, figure out what works, what doesn't work, and then move on. So, now that we are in a little bit of a better position, I guess I can unmark these. Oh, that's the wrong level. There we go. I'm feeling pretty good about this. You know, did a little bit of, well, not a little bit of everything today, but we did expand some farming stuff that we were having kind of an issue with, even if it's not really as much of an issue now. We took care of that bad water area. We put the zip line underground, which I think is always fun. And we have reached the end of this episode, so I really appreciate you guys sticking with the series. Again, at this point, I think it's probably going to have to be the next episode after I... Wow, I am batting 1,000 today on word structure. The next episode, I think I'm going to have to wait to record until after I start to see comments on the previous ones. So I do apologize that there haven't been as many of this. It's gone down to once or twice a week for the past little bit. But I've done what I can with the limited time and the ability that I do before I go and have some much-needed time off from YouTube completely for basically the first time ever. Trying really hard to get everything taken care of before I depart and go have fun adventures that I'm sure you'll hear about very soon. But people like the Beard Boosters help smooth things out so I don't have to worry quite so much about reducing channel output or taking a couple of days off here and there. And it certainly wouldn't be possible for me to take a couple weeks away in real life without those support of those folks. So I really appreciate you, genuinely. You've done so much for me, so much for this channel, and so much for the stuff and the people that I care about. So whatever you are doing, if your name is on that list or if it's not on that list, I hope you have a fun and a safe rest of your day, and we'll see you back again soon for more beavers. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.